Andrea Reamer, Papp Road, 24 Papp Road. This isn't about big trucks or anything, but it's about the traffic that's on Burnside Road coming up to Papp Road. Maybe we have to think about having a stop sign at the top of Burnside where it meets Papp Road, because cars don't see the 25 miles an hour and they come up through the middle of the road, and if you're at that intersection you cannot see anybody coming up the hill. And there has been, for myself, at least 2 occasions when there could have been a nice crash if I hadn't been looking backwards to see if anybody was zipping up the hill after I made it through the intersection. My husband has been almost forced off the road several times because those cars come up the middle of the road. They have no conception of the speed that they're doing. And then they toot the horn like you are in the wrong place.
Andrea, we can have our director of public works take a look.
So we don't have to worry just about...
Okay, I take that back. We're going to have Mike Haberman, our traffic engineer, look into that. So thank you. You'll let us know.
Hi, my name's Marilyn Hicks, 4013 Sir James Drive. I've been here 8 months, so I don't know, and maybe the board can tell me, if there's an emergency within Cecil Township, how do you get word out to people? If there's a major, I'm just going to say that, what if the bridge fell down? How do we get emergency notices out to the public? Nobody.
You want me to first? Do you want to transfer? So we're currently working on, Jack King, our assistant manager, is currently working on an active 911 system, correct me if I'm wrong, and that would be a form of notification for emergencies.
Okay.
But there's nothing currently.
So if a major thing happened, like our gas well or our gas line or something, we would not have notification from the township that something major has happened somewhere in the township until this 911 is put in.
I'm sure our local firemen will notify people.
Do they have our numbers, or, I mean, how do they, that's what I'm trying to figure out as a new resident. How do you inform? You have a big, I never knew this township was this big.
So we have, so the issue is, and I asked that question during the conditional use hearing, and there is an emergency preparedness plan that they have filed with the township. Unfortunately, we don't have it in front of us, so to answer that question, we really can't right now. But if you file a right to know request, you would have access to that, and then you could answer that question. But because that specific information is in front of us right now, I don't know.
Okay. But you are working on one of those 911s that if something would come out,
Correct.
it would get to everyone in the township.
Correct.
All right, thank you.
In the interim, put the scanner app on your phone, and when you hear the fire whistle go off, you just open the scanner app and you can hear what's
I
going on.
never hear a fire whistle.
You never hear it?
Close to what?
I'm close enough to hear it.
The Facebook page too, being worked on.
You don't want to see it.
What? We had that Facebook page as well that was being worked on. There's no Facebook page. Pardon me? There's no Facebook page. It was up for a couple of days and then it's gone. Maybe the board, would the board consider putting that up?
Wait, I'm sorry, I can't hear anything at the moment, I'm sorry, what was the question?
I was just addressing that we had a Facebook page up and the possibility of putting it back up just to inform the public of the information.
So at this point, and this question was asked of us, I think that we need to take one step at a time on the process of working on the website and updating it for information, and then once that is completed, we can address Facebook, but we don't want to put the cart before the horse. Was that your question or something you brought up?
We were addressing it as another response on how to educate people
I mean, but the problem with that is somebody would be able to update the Facebook page between the hours of 9 and 4, and then if there's an emergency at 4:20 and people are waiting for a Facebook notification, it's not gonna happen, which is
Right.
one of the many reasons that it was kind of squashed momentarily, not permanently.
I don't see it as being a problem. We have the police officers have a very nice Facebook page, and then also that issue wasn't brought up when the Parks and Rec had a Facebook page.
So Parks and Rec Facebook page is different because there's somebody that puts information out. The police also work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Our township staff does not. So, as I said, you know, that was addressed with this board. A majority of this board said, work on the website first and then we can go on from there. So,
I was never made aware of it. I never knew. The question was never put to me.
there was
The question as to whether or not we have a Facebook page.
There was an email sent by Mr. King to our board as a whole. You were on that email.
Okay.
You're welcome to go back and read it. I can look it up right now and tell you when it was sent. Bear with me one second.
But the board's decision was not to do a Facebook page
At
currently?
this point in time. Bear with me.
We'd have to follow them.
Facebook page proposal,
Definitely.
July 18th.
That was after the fact or before it was introduced?
So I don't want to get into it. I don't want to get into what the process wasn't fault, or a township, if you wouldn't mind if we could have your attention for just a second. The process wasn't followed for board approval. There was a Facebook page that was apparently put up for a few days, unbeknownst to most of us on the board. And then there was an email that was sent out asking for permission, and majority of the board said, not right now, not no, not right now. And that was the decision of the board. So if you're okay with it, we're going to move on to public comment. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm Tracy Saber. I live at 4009 Sir James Drive. It's my understanding that Range Resources has secured the parking lot at the bottom of North D. Paoli. Is that not correct?
I'm not sure.
You mean they have a lease agreement, or, that's not township property, we wouldn't be aware of any.
Is that township property?
It is not township property. The gravel parking lot that's
Correct.
50, yeah, that's not township property.
So then it would be private property, and they would have had to,
Seek your permission from the property owner, correct?
correct,
Yes, that's right.
Okay, well, that's what I've been told, and I wanted to know if, what the township was gonna do as far as, we have a obstructed, visibility with the Thai restaurant right there. It's very difficult to see around that corner.
That's what this plan will address, it will address the site distance issue.
And then if they have secured that parking lot, then the trucks will be lined up in that area to go up North Bay Paoli to drill. And so we would now have limited visibility on both sides. And I wanted to ask the board to look into this, because if they do secure that lot, we have another problem in getting in and out. And I also wanted to make another comment. I was coming home from Bednar's about a week ago, and where they're constructing the well pad, they have filled in the entrance with these huge rocks, they're about this big. And they're already being kicked out into the middle of the street. I had to dodge 2 of them. And it was my understanding that they were to keep the road free and clear of any type of debris from the well production. And they haven't even started drilling yet, and it's already a problem. So,
Not true, I've never seen it done that way.
I've seen 2. I've dodged 2.
I have,
I've never seen it.
I live on that road, I have.
You have?
I've never seen it again. Why is that?
Well, she has and I have, so that's two of us.
We're not gonna, if you can address the board, we're not gonna get into
Okay,
it.
I'm sorry.
We
I apologize.
trust that it's your saying that.
Okay, so, you know, we have a problem with this road already with all the issues that everybody else has brought up. So I'm asking the board to, whatever Range Resources has agreed to, they need to abide by it at all times. Because it's your responsibility to protect us as citizens, our safety. And that's not being done right now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Kathy Paper, Brookside Drive. I just want to address the board that before they make any decisions about whatever the lawsuit is regarding that well path, I don't know if any of you have read the book Amity and Prosperity. It's about a person that happened to be represented by a Cecil Township attorney and his wife. And it was for drilling that messed up well water out in that area. You can't fight Range Resources. They will take you to court over and over again. I suggest you read the book. It is a page turner. And if we get into a battle with Range Resources, we will have no funds to do anything in this township. So I think you need to look hard at before you consider taking them on.
Just as a side note, it's a Pulitzer Prize winning book.
It is a Pulitzer Prize winning book, yes.
Michelle Stenmark, 40 North DePauli. I have a few things to address. The first, Mrs. Pickford said about amity and prosperity. It's actually us, the few residents of us that are suing Range, not the township. They're actually they're with Range. So I'm going to take Range as far as I can. If I stay in the Supreme Court, I'll fight and fight and fight and fight. Because I'm already winning. I don't feel well bad up there yet. As far as I'm concerned, I'm already winning. You're right, sorry, I am supposed to address the board. Sure. That being said, I also want to reiterate a little bit about what Lisa and Diane said. There is something called the Southwest Environmental Health Project that will install free air quality monitors for people if should they want that before drilling starts. They recommend that air quality monitors and water monitors be installed prior to the beginning of any type of drilling. That way you have a baseline, and they will do it all for free. I also wanted to let everybody know that I really appreciate all this negativity that's happened tonight. I really appreciate all the effort that the board is taking with Parks and Rec, because it's long overdue. I think the Parks and Rec board and the auxiliary board and Wendy and Jen, she left, everybody's doing a great job. And I love seeing that stuff on the agenda. I love seeing you guys put our money towards that and improving this township and actually doing things in a positive way than us sitting here all the time having to yell and complain and fight about stuff. So kudos to that. On that note, I do have a question about the UDO zoning changes that you guys are talking about. One of the things I think Gretchen said was that if someone wanted to rezone their property, it would come in front of you first to decide whether or not they should have a hearing.
So just in the past, and I won't call any specific, there have been times where this board has had a hearing for a zoning request and have not made a decision at all. Haven't voted yes, haven't voted no, and kind of have left things hanging. The idea behind that would be to not have that happen, so that we can kind of decide whether or not in advance,